Shalom and good morning. Today we are reading in 2 Kings, chapter 18. And it came to be in the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Eliah, sovereign of Yashrael, that Hezekiah, son of Ahaz, sovereign of Yehudah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Abi, daughter of Zechariah. And he did what was right in the eyes of Yahu'ah according to all that his father did. Father Dod did. I apologize. And he took away the high places and broke the pillars and cut down the Asherah and broke in pieces the bronze serpent which Masha had made. For until those days the children of Yashrael burned incense to it, and called it Nahushan. He put his trust in Yahu'ah Eluah of Yashrael, and after him was none like him among all the sovereigns of Yehudah, nor who were before him. And he clung to Yahu'ah. He did not turn away from following him, but guarded his commands, which Yahu'ah had commanded Masha. And Yahu'ah was with him. Wherever he went, he acted wisely. And he rebelled against the sovereign of Ashur, and did not serve him. He struck the Philistines as far as Azah, and it was in its borders, from Watchtower until the walled city. And it came to be in the 4th year of sovereign Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Eli, sovereign of Yashrael, that Shalmaneser, sovereign of Ashur, came up against Shamron and besieged it. And they captured it at the end of 3 years. In the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hoshea, sovereign of Yashrael, Shamron was captured. And the sovereign of Ashur exiled Yashrael to Ashur, and placed them in Halah, in Habor, the river of Gozan, and in the cities of Medes, because they did not obey the voice of Yahu'ah their Eluah, but transgressed his covenant, all that Masha the servant of Yahu'ah had commanded, and they did not obey nor do them. And in the 14th year of sovereign Hezekiah, Sennacherib, sovereign of Ashur, came up against all the walled cities of Yehudah and captured them. And Hezekiah, sovereign of Yehudah, sent to the sovereign of Ashur at Lachish, saying, I have done wrong. Turn away from me. I shall bear whatever you impose on me. And the sovereign of Ashur imposed upon Hezekiah, the sovereign of Yehudah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of Yahu'ah and in the treasuries of the sovereign's house. At that time, Hezekiah cut off the doors of the Hekel of Yahu'ah, and the doorposts which Hezekiah, sovereign of Yehudah, had overlaid, and gave it to the sovereign of Ashur. And the sovereign of Ashur sent the Tartan and the Rabsaris and the Rabshakeh from Lachish with a great army against Jerusalem to sovereign Hezekiah, and they went up and came to Jerusalem. And when they had come up, they came and stood by the channel of the upper pool, which was on the highway to the launderer's field. And they called to the sovereign, and Eliakim, son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, and Shebna, the scribe, and Yoah, son of Asaph, the recorder, came out to them. And the Rabshanak said to them, Please say to Hezekiah, Thus said the great sovereign, the sovereign of Ashur, What is this trust in which you have trusted? You have spoken of having counsel and strength for battle, but they are only words of the lips. And in whom do you trust that you rebel against me? Now look, you have put your trust in the staff of this crushed reed, Mitzrayim, on which if a man leans, it shall go into his hand, and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, to all who trust in him. But when you say to me, We trust in Yahu'ah our Eluah, is it not he whose high places and whose slaughter places Hezekiah has taken away, and said to Yehuda in Jerusalem, Bow yourselves before the slaughter place in Jerusalem? And now I urge you to give a pledge to my master, the sovereign of Ashur. Then I give you 2,000 horses, if you are able to put riders on them. And how do you turn back the face of one commander of the least of my master's servants, and trust in Mitzrayim for chariots and horsemen? Have I come up without Yahu'ah against this place to destroy it? Yahu'ah said to me, Go up against this land, and you shall destroy it. Then said Eliakim, son of Hilkiah, and Shebna, and Yoah to the Rabshakeh, Please speak to your servants in Aramaic, for we understand it, and do not speak to us in the language of Yehuda in the ears of the people on the wall. And the Rabshakeh said to them, Has my master sent me to your master and to you to speak these words, and not to the men sitting on the wall to eat their own dung and drink their own urine with you? And the Rabshakeh stood and called out with a loud voice in the language of Yehuda, and spoke and said, Hear the word of the great sovereign, the sovereign of Ashur. Thus said the sovereign, Do not let Hezekiah deceive you, for he is unable to deliver you out of his hand. And do not let Hezekiah make you trust in Yahu'ah, saying, Yahu'ah shall certainly deliver us, and this city is not given into the hand of the sovereign of Ashur. Do not listen to Hezekiah, for thus said the sovereign of Ashur, Make peace with me by a present and come out to me, and let each of you eat from his own vine, and each from his own fig tree, and each of you drink the waters of his own cistern. Until I come, then I shall take you away to a land like your own land, a land of grain and new wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of olive trees and honey, and live and not die. But do not listen to Hezekiah when he misleads you, saying, Yahu'ah shall deliver us. Has any of the mighty ones of the nations at all delivered its land from the hand of the sovereign of Ashur? Where are the mighty ones of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the mighty ones of Shepharwim and Hena and Ewa? Did they deliver Shamron from my hand? Who among all the mighty ones of the land have delivered their land out of my hand, that Yahu'ah should deliver Jerusalem from my hand? But the people were silent and did not answer him a word, for the command of the sovereign was, Do not answer him. And Eliakim, son of Hilkiah, who was over the household of Shebna the scribe, and Yoah, son of Asaph the recorder, came to Hezekiah with their garments torn, and they reported to him the words of Rabshakeh. Chapter 19. And it came to be, when the sovereign Hezekiah heard it, that he tore his garments and covered himself in sackcloth, and went into the house of Yahu'ah, and sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covering themselves with sackcloth, to Yashayahu the prophet, son of Amoz. And they said to him, Thus said Hezekiah, This day is a day of distress and rebuke and scorn, for the children have come to birth, but there is no power to bring forth. It could be that Yahu'ah, your Elohim, does hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom his master, the sovereign of Ashur, has sent to reproach the living Elohim, and shall rebuke the words which Yahu'ah, your Elohim, has heard. Therefore lift up your prayer for the remnant that is left. And the servants of sovereign Hezekiah came to Yashayahu, and Yashayahu said to them, Say this to your master. Thus said Yahu'ah, Do not be afraid of the words which you have heard, with which the servants of the sovereign of Ashur have reviled me. See, I am putting a spirit upon him, and he shall hear a report, and return to his own land, and I shall cause him to fall by the sword in his land. And the Rabshakeh returned and found the sovereign of Ashur fighting against Libnah, for he had heard that he had left Lachish. And when the sovereign heard concerning Tirhakah, sovereign of Cush, See, he has come out to fight against you. And he again sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, Speak to Hezekiah, sovereign of Yehudah, saying, Do not let your Elohim in whom you trust deceive you, saying, Jerusalem is not given into the hand of the sovereign of Ashur. See, you have heard what the sovereigns of Ashur have done to all the lands by putting them under the bond. And are you going to be delivered? Have the mighty ones of the nations delivered those whom my fathers have destroyed? Gozan and Haran and Raseph and the sons of Adan who were in Telasar? Where is the sovereign of Hamath and the sovereign of Arpad and the sovereign of the city of Shepharwaim, Hena and Ewa? And Hezekiah received the letters from the hand of the messengers and read them. And he went up to the house of Yahu'ah, and Hezekiah spread it before Yahu'ah. And Hezekiah prayed before Yahu'ah and said, O Yahu'ah Elohim of Yashrael, the one who dwells between the Kebarim, you are Elohim, you alone of all the reigns of the earth. You have made the Shemayim and earth. Incline your ear, O Yahu'ah, and hear. Open your eyes, O Yahu'ah, and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which he has sent to reproach the living Elohim. Truly, Yahu'ah, the sovereigns of Ashur, have laid waste the nations and their lands, and have put their mighty ones into the fire. For they were not mighty ones, but the works of men's hands, wood and stone, and destroyed them. And now, O Yahu'ah our Elohim, I pray save us from his hand, so that all the reigns of the earth shall know that you are Yahu'ah Elohim, you alone. Then Yashayahu, son of Amoz, sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus said Yahu'ah, Elohim of Yashrael, I have heard that which you have prayed to me against Sennacherib, sovereign of Ashur. This is the word which Yahu'ah has spoken concerning him. The maiden, the daughter of Sion, has despised you, mocked you. The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head behind you. Whom have you reproached and reviled? Against whom have you raised a voice and lifted up your eyes on high? Against the set-apart one of Yashrael. By the hand of your messengers you have reproached Yahu'ah, and said, With my many chariots I have come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and I cut down its tall cedars, its choice cypress trees, and I enter its remote parts, its thickest forest. I have dug and drunk strange water, and with the soles of my feet I dry up all the streams of defense. Have you not heard long ago? I made it, from days of old I formed it. Now I have brought it to be that you should make walled cities ruinous heaps. And their inhabitants were powerless. They were overthrown and put to shame. They were as the grass of the field and the green plants, as the grass of the housetops, and withered before it came up. But I know you're sitting down, and you're going out, and you're coming in your rage against me. Because your rage against me and your pride have come up to my ears, I shall put my hook in your nose and my bridle in your lips, and I shall turn you back by the way which you came. And this is the sign for you. This year you eat what grows on itself, and in the second year what springs from that, and in the third year sow and reap, and plant vineyards and eat their fruit. And the remnant who have escaped of the house of Yahu'ah shall again take root downward, and be fruitful. For out of Jerusalem comes forth a remnant, and those who escape from Mount Sion. The ardor of Yahu'ah does this. Therefore thus said Yahu'ah concerning the sovereign of Ashur. He does not come into the city, nor does he shoot an arrow there, nor does he come before it with shield, nor does he build a siege mound against it. By the way that he came, by the same he turns back. And he does not come into the city, declares Yahu'ah. And I shall defend the city to save it for my own sake and for the sake of God my servant. And it came to be, in the night that the messenger of Yahu'ah went out, and struck in the camp of Asher 185,000. And they rose up early in the morning, and saw all of them dead bodies. And Sanherib, sovereign of Ashur, broke camp, and went away, and turned back, and remained in Nineveh. And it came to be, as he was bowing himself in the house of Nisroch, his mighty one, that his sons Adremelech and Sharister struck him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Arat. And his son Esharhaddon reigned in his place. Chapter 20. In those days Hezekiah was sick unto death, and Yashayahu the prophet, son of Amoz, went to him and said to him, Thus said Yahu'ah, command your house, for you are going to die and not live. And he returned his face toward the wall, and prayed to Yahu'ah, saying, I pray to you, O Yahu'ah, remember how I have walked before you in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done what was good in your eyes. And Hezekiah wept bitterly. And it came to be, before Yashayahu had gone out into the middle court, that the word of Yahu'ah came to him, saying, Return and say to Hezekiah, the leader of my people, Thus said Yahu'ah, the Eluah of God your father, I have heard your prayer, I have seen your tears. See, I am going to heal you. On the third day, go up to the house of Yahu'ah. And I shall add to your days 15 years, and deliver you in the city from the hand of the sovereign of Ashur, and shall defend this city for my own sake, and for the sake of God my servant. And Yashayahu said, Take a cake of figs. And they took and laid it upon the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said to Yashayahu, What is the sign that Yahu'ah does heal me, and that I shall go up to the house of Yahu'ah the third day? And Yashayahu said, This is the sign for you from Yahu'ah, that Yahu'ah does the word which he has spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees, or go backward 10 degrees? And Hezekiah said, It would be easy for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. No, but let the shadow go backward 10 degrees. And Yashayahu the prophet cried out to Yahu'ah, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down on the sundial of Ahaz. At that time, Barodak, Baladan, son of Baladan, sovereign of Babel, sent letters and a present to Hezekiah, for he heard that Hezekiah had been sick. And Hezekiah listened to them and showed them all his treasure house, the silver and gold and the spices and the precious ointment, and all his armory, and all that was found among his treasures. There was not an object in his house or in all his rule that Hezekiah did not show them. And Yashayahu the prophet came to sovereign Hezekiah and said to him, What did these men say, and from where did they come to you? And Hezekiah said, They came from a distant land, from Babel. And he said, What have they seen in your house? And Hezekiah answered, They saw all that is in my house. There is not an object among my treasures that I did not show them. And Yashayahu said to Hezekiah, Hear the word of Yahu'ah. See, the days are coming when all that is in your house, and what your fathers have treasured up until this day, shall be brought to Babel. No object is to be left, said Yahu'ah. And they are going to take away some of your sons who are to be born to you, whom you bring forth, and they shall bring eunuchs, and they shall be eunuchs in the place of the sovereign of Babel. And Hezekiah said to Yashayahu, The word of Yahu'ah which you have spoken is good. And he said, Is it not so? If peace and truth are to be in my days. And the rest of the acts of Hezekiah and all his might, and how he made a pool and a channel and brought water into the city, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Yehudah? So Hezekiah slept with his fathers, and Manasseh his son reigned in his place. Chapter 21. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hephzibah. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahu'ah according to the abominations of the nations of whom Yahu'ah disposed before the children of Yashrael. And he turned and built the high places in which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. And he raised up slaughter places for Baal and made an Asherah, as Ahab, sovereign of Yashrael, had done. And he bowed himself to all the host of the Shemaim and served them. And he built slaughter places in the house of Yahu'ah, of which Yahu'ah had said, In Jerusalem I put my name. And he built slaughter places for all the hosts of the Shemaims in the 2 courtyards of the house of Yahu'ah. And he made his son pass through fire, and practiced magic, and used divination, and consulted spirits and mediums. He did much evil in the eyes of Yahu'ah to provoke him. And he placed a carved image of Asherah that he had made in the house of Yahu'ah, the house of which Yahu'ah had said to Dod and to Shalomo his son, In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Yashrael, I put my name forever. And no more shall I cause the feet of Yashrael to move from the soil which I gave their fathers, only if they guard to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the Torah that my servant Moshe commanded them. But they did not obey. And Manasseh led them astray to do more evil than the nations whom Yahu'ah had destroyed before the children of Yashrael. And Yahu'ah spoke by his servants the prophets, saying, Because Manasseh, sovereign of Yehudah, has done these abominations, having done more evil than all the Amorites who were before him, and also made Yehudah sin with his idols. Therefore, thus said Yahu'ah, Elohim of Yisrael, See, I am bringing such evil upon Jerusalem and Yehudah, that both ears of those who hear of it shall tingle. And I shall stretch over Jerusalem the measuring line of Shamron and the plummet of the house of Ahab, and shall wipe Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. And I shall forsake the remnant of my inheritance and give them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall be for a prey and for a plunder to all their enemies, because they have done evil in my eyes, and have provoked me since the day their fathers came out of Mizraim, even to this day. And also Manasseh shed very much innocent blood, until he has filled Jerusalem from one end to the other, besides his sin with which he made Yehudah sin, in doing evil in the eyes of Yahu'ah. And the rest of the acts of Manasseh and all that he did, and the sin that he committed, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereign of Yehudah? So Manasseh slept with his fathers, and was buried in the garden of his own house, in the garden of Uzzah, and his son Amon reigned in his place. Amon was 22 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. And the name of his mother was Meshulamuth, the daughter of Harutz of Yatabah. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah as his father Manasseh had done, and walked in all the ways of his father had walked, and served the idols that his father had served, and bowed himself to them, and forsook Yahuwah, Elohim of his fathers. He did not walk in the way of Yahuwah. And the servants of Ammon conspired against him, and killed the sovereign in his own house. But the people of the land struck all those who had conspired against sovereign Ammon. And the people of the land set up his son Yashiyahu to reign in his place. And the rest of the acts of Ammon which he did, are they not written in the annals of the sovereigns of Yehudah? And he was buried in his burial place in the garden of Uzzah, and his son Yashiyahu reigned in his place.